first inkling of this mass transfer of people, not organized but unorganized, was very interesting. Jinnah and the other Muslim League leaders noticed something very interesting, very curious happening in this province of Sindh. There were a lot of Sindhis, Hindus living there. It was a sizable proportion there. They noticed that the Sindhis are sending all their money to Bombay, and that went to such an extent that Pakistan government had to ban transfer of money. That the banks banks in Pakistan will not allow transfer of money to India. And that's when they got the inkling that these fellows are not going to leave here. Somehow the first opportunity they are going to leave. And that the Raja Gopalachari and other leaders went and told them that live here peacefully. They are your brothers. The people who were cutting you down till yesterday are your brothers. And no population transfer. What happens? Within a few months, the India and Pakistan government are compelled to accept limited transfer of population from east to west and west to east Punjab. They still don't, because the number of killings were so unimaginably high that it was not acceptable to the whole world. The whole world was watching what is going on. So to get out of that situation, they had to accept, and already millions of people were coming down in columns, in thousands of miles, walking down with bullock carts. Somehow,
You're not even talking about what was happening in the east.
yes, I'm coming to the east because the story there is lesser known and more horrible, more horrific. That these people are already coming down, streaming down, and people from East Punjab equally are going back. So what do you do? Rather than let it happen, they late in the day, almost at the 11th hour, they realized that let's regulate, let's control it. That's when they accepted the principle of transfer of population, regulated transfer of population. And that thing, while it was going on the west, which is the Punjab, East and West Punjab, they never accepted, the Congress never accepted that principle in the east, where the partition of Bengal had happened. And similarly, millions of people were being butchered. They were forced to flee their ancestral properties and come to the West Bengal and live there in horrible conditions, horrific conditions. Those who survived, those few who survived, and even those few who survived numbered, like in the lakhs. They had nothing. They just were carrying whatever they could, a few clothes, a few utensils, and stranded in the Shiala station on the streets of Kolkata, Howrah.
Bloodshed on the east was more violent and more...
Bloodshed probably was in the same magnitude. But what happened there after that, Anand, is inexplicable. When the population who had come, the mass exodus that happened from West Punjab to East Punjab, that is from Pakistan to India, those refugees were settled. They were given land. They were settled in housing was built. They were given agricultural land. They were given subsidies, and all those things were given. And they were recognized, acknowledged as refugees. In the east, where millions were forced to flee from East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, and they came over to West Bengal, the government did not even have the number of people who had arrived. And this was a question asked in the Central Assembly. I'm not guessing, I'm not just, I've quoted in the book from a question raised by a member of parliament as late as in 1951 or 52. The government did not have the number of people, so that let alone giving them any land subsidy or anything. So that is what the eastern people have suffered. Unfortunately, while the people in the west who had to migrate from Pakistan into India, they remember their suffering. The story has stayed within their family. In the east, somehow it has vanished from the consciousness. And we are seeing, which is not the topic of discussion today, so maybe another day, we are seeing the ramifications in the current politics in the state.